Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year 2025. I want to welcome you to our first online interview here this year, and we're gonna start directly with potash, with Millennial Potash, and Farhad Abasov is here with us. Hey, good day, Farhad, and how are you, my friend? All good?
Happy New Year, Jochen. Good to see you. Everything is going great.
Super, perfect. Happy New Year to you also. Great to have you here. I'm a shareholder of the company. I want to disclose that, of course, upfront, and really a happy shareholder because the stock price really developed the last 6 to 8 months in a very nice way, I must say. But the company also delivered. But before we go in medias res, Farhad, maybe you want to give us shortly some highlights of 2024, and then we go a bit more into detail.
Sure, Jochen, with pleasure. So, Jochen, the last year was an amazing year for us. We started with this company relatively recently, about a year and a half ago. And last year, we did quite a few important things to advance this project further. First of all, we drilled, on a small part of the project, we're probably covering about 2% of the entire property. Mm-hmm. And that allowed us to put out very strong it made a resource estimate of 1.7 billion tons of indicated and inferred resource, again, covering very, very small part of the project. So that means an upside is huge. And then following that, we immediately started with the preliminary economic assessment, which also came out in the first half of the last year. And that was, again, with stellar economics. We're looking at one of the lowest CapEx requirements, one of the lowest operating cost estimates, $61 per ton. Again, extremely competitive. Very strong MLP.V, after-tax MLP.V over $1 billion US. And overall, we think that this project is going to be probably one of the most competitive potash projects out there. So following that, we started doing some other work. The plan is to get going with the second stage of drilling and environmental baseline studies. And last year, we also brought in a significant investment into the company. We raised a little bit of money in summer, and then right before the end of the year, we raised another $3.7 million. Mm-hmm. We brought in a very strong strategic shareholder.
Can you say who it is?
Yeah, it's a family office out of Singapore. Yeah, okay. And this is a family office that has had tremendous experience in fertilizer space. So they've done their own due diligence. They've done quite a bit of evaluation of the project itself, and they've come to a conclusion that, this is a project they want to get involved with. So we didn't know these people before, Jochen, so this is a new group for us. But it's a big, stamp of approval because they were already a relatively small shareholder in the company, but after having done a significant due diligence on the project, they've decided to increase their stake in Millennial. So, we have an AGM, so you will see after an AGM, they're stake in the company will be over 25%. So it's a significant investment.
Okay, super. So that means we can say that it's like from a third party, a real evaluation. So things are real.
Exactly. So the real confirmation of the potential of the project, I would say at this stage. Exactly.
Okay, super. I remember also that the state of Gabon and the United States did some cooperation agreements. How has that developed? And how do you see that for 2025 helping you?
Yeah, Jochen, that was an interesting and very important development for Gabon. As you know, Gabon is a small country. There was a change of government a year and a half ago. So there were a lot of questions about what strategy or what direction Gabon was going to take in terms of their political and economic development. So this strategic partnership agreement with the United States was critical, not only for the Gabon government and Gabonese people, but of course for our project, because we are talking to a number of large U.S.-based entities, investors, etc., who are quite interested in the project, and this kind of very close relations with the U.S. will actually boost their confidence in the ability of the Gabonese government to deliver on infrastructure and support of the project and so forth. So I think, Jochen, this is a very, very important, if not key, development in terms of geopolitical assessment of this region and Gabon, because Gabon, as I have mentioned many times in the past, has been a neutral player, geopolitically speaking, in this part of Africa. So they're not involved in all kinds of, upheavals like some of their neighbors. They played it pretty straight with the West, with China, with India, and with their neighbors as well, with France, for that matter. So we believe that the Gabonese government is on the right track in terms of their, economic and political development. So this agreement is kind of a confirmation of what we've been telling the market for the last few months. So that is very important. And I think that will, again, it will underpin further development of our project specifically, as I said, because we're talking to some large US-based investors for whom it's important to see that the Gabon's interests are aligned with the US interests as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you met also with the president one or two times, right?
Exactly. So I met personally with the president about a year ago. This was very long and very productive meeting with His Excellency and, of course, with all the key ministers. And then later on, this is we're talking about 3-4 months ago, His Excellency actually visited the site as well. He came to Mayumba. He met with our team there. So it was very important, again, sign of support and confidence for the project.
Yeah, and I think the support is also here for the port and the power plant construction, which saves you, I would say, on the one hand, money, but I think it's also super important when you have the support of the government and the authorities, things maybe go a little bit faster, right?
Absolutely. So you're exactly. So what the government has been actually pushing forward with infrastructure development, in a very aggressive way, which is very important for us. And the development of the port, development of power infrastructure, those are all critical elements, not only for us, but also for some other resource projects and companies that are operating in Mayumba region. Because compared to other parts of Gabon, it's less developed in terms of infrastructure. So this is very important. Not only does it take a significant burden off our shoulders, financial burden off our shoulders, but also it shows that, the government is actually committed to the development of this region and specifically our project as well. Because you remember, Jochen, our plan is to make sure that we would build our processing facilities, our storage, and so forth, and the port side, so that it has access to all the infrastructure, including, of course, the power.
Okay, super. Now through those private placements, you have probably like $4-5 million easily cash in the bank. Where do you see, let's say, immediate use of the money to bring the company really further? Because sometimes I have the feeling, and I mean, we know each other long time. Every company you did was taken over finally with a nice premium. So we made always
So
money.
all good exits. Yeah.
So what is the plan here for 2025? What do you think you can do immediately with, say, some 2, 3, 4 good drill holes strategically done to really move the thing forward, to move the needle here? Yeah.
So, Jochen, we will not deviate from our typical development model, which is basically take things forward as fast as we can in the most efficient way. So we've done the first drill program to prove up that there is actual strong resource base there. So the maiden resource estimate was quite large. The second stage for us will be to drill some more. So basically stepping out from our existing drill holes and drilling 2 or 3 holes to basically hopefully double the resource. Again, it will still be a very small part of our property, but it will significantly increase our existing resource. So in the next 2 months, that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start second stage of drilling. Concurrently with that, we'll start environmental baseline studies. And then the plan is to finish the drill program hopefully by the end of the first quarter, so that the second quarter or in the middle of this year, we can actually embark on our bankable feasibility study. So that will be a definitive feasibility study. And again, as you remember, our previous projects, that's exactly what we've done. We usually don't do pre-feas. We go straight in feasibility study so that we don't, spend too much time and money on pre-feasibility. So, so this year, basically, I would say 3 major programs. One is further drilling, bankable feasibility, and then environmental study. So that should take us to the point where by the end of the year, early next year, we'll have those programs completed. And probably, after March, maybe April, we'll have revised resource estimate. Hopefully, again, it will be significantly bigger than what we have now. And that should be sufficient for us to get going with a bankable feasibility study. And then early next year, we'll be in a position to make a decision on production.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So that's the plan. So within a very short period of time, we want to take it to the point where the project is what we call shovel ready.
Wow, fantastic. So that means the next 12 months is they go full throttle.
Absolutely.
I would
Absolutely.
say. Fantastic. Well, Farhad, that I would say that was a perfect update here, and I have a good feeling that we talk within the next 2-3 months then again. And yeah, I would say you execute, and we shareholders are happy.
Thanks so much, Jochen. We shall execute. We will definitely work hard.
Yeah, I know
Happy New
that.
Year.
Always. Thank you very
Happy New
much.
Year
Happy
again.
New
Thank
Year.
you very much.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Farhad Abasov from Millennial Potash, the CEO, and you heard it. Now the ground is laid out, the seed is done, and now this year it goes really full throttle. Bankable feasibility study, environmental permits, etc., etc. The state is really supporting this project fully, and the company has the money in the bank to really execute and do so. And don't forget, the potash markets are also getting much, much better because very simple, we have to feed the world. And yeah, this little project really turns out to be something really big, I would say. And I'm a happy shareholder. You really should consider this company. Thanks for watching us. Happy New Year again. Bye bye from Switzerland.
Perfect. Thank you very much, my friend.